Welcome to Hochoka Podcast.
Hello, Mitakuyepi, and welcome to Hochoka, here at the center of St. Joseph's Indian School campus. I'm Scott Wooster. I'm glad you have joined our circle to hear from Odis Cosgrove, who is now in his 22nd year as a house parent here at St. Joseph's Indian School. In part one of this two-part series, we learn exactly what a house parent does. So, Odis, it's good to have you here at Hochoka today.
Good to have you too.
Yeah. So, Odis and I have been working here. I said in the intro that you've been here for 22 years now. And Odis and I have worked together for quite some time.
Doesn't seem that long, does it?
It doesn't. No, it goes by quickly. But Odis and I have our roots in Lyman County and just across the river here. So we've got a lot in common, and we've been working with a lot of the same students here for a long time. What made you decide that you wanted to come to St. Joseph's Indian School? What made you decide that you wanted to work here?
Well, I was working with adjudicated youth at a different place in town here, and I found out I'd really like working with kids. And I had a cousin that worked, and she still works here. And she always encouraged me to come work here. And one year her partner was going to leave, so I applied, and it's the best job I've ever had. It's a really good job, and that's how I got here. That's how I got caught.
Right. And that the job was going to be when you came here in 1997, 8.
Any expectations that weren't met.
Okay.
It's I came from a big family, so having a lot of kids around and working, it wasn't unusual to me, or I fit right into it. The job. It's like I trained my whole life to work as a house parent almost. I came from a big family. I spent some time going to school on the reservations. Some of my siblings are Native, my two sisters. So it's like, I don't know. It's like sometimes I think I trained my whole life to, after coming back from the Marines and then starting to work with kids, it's like, I don't know who set that path for. I do know who set that path for me, and it seems like, that I trained my whole life for it.
Right.
So
right.
It's not like a job. It's like it's fun for me. If you find something that you really enjoy, it's not like work.
Absolutely.
And sometimes you're like, man, it's amazing these guys pay me for this. And it's that kind of job, for me. So.
Well, I see that in what you do, certainly, and the kids that have been with you in your home, they look back on their times with you, and I should say that Odis works with the kids when they're in the 4th, 5th, 6th grade.
6th grade, yeah.
And so I work with the kids when they're 7th through 12th. So a lot of those kids you end up passing off into my age group. And all of those kids look back on that time with you fondly. They see you as family. They see you as somebody that's important to them. In 2019, I think this is a pretty neat deal, too. The Coalition for Residential Education gave you the award, the Catherine Hershey House Parent of the Year Award. And I know you, Odis, that you never got into this job and you don't do it to get awards. That's not your deal. That's not who you are. But it was a well-deserved award, and it's a nice award to get. Can you describe any kind of House Parent of the Year moment that you might have had for us?
Yeah, I was just talking with the kids about that this morning. I don't know what brought it up, but they could not believe it,
That you won the award?
I'm working with it right now, yeah.
Yeah.
You must have been dreaming that, Odis.
Yeah.
Giving me a hard time. I was shocked when I got that award.
Sure.
And it was a good trip down to Little Rock to get it, and we had some good times with I think we had a teacher that got recognition too. I don't know, just house parenting. I just focused on house parenting and happened to get an award. And I know it's hard to single out maybe one point where you say I deserve that award, or I think probably, just visiting with old kids on the street or their families and seeing their reaction, wanting to talk about old times or wanting to, tell you, wanting to share with you how their life's going now. I would say that maybe points to why I got the award is, that I've managed to develop the kind of relationship where the kids will see me, the old students will see me, and they'll want me to be filled in and in the know about what's going on.
Yeah.
I'm not a big social media guy, but like one of the students I had wanted me to sign up so he could show me pictures of his kid that was newborn. So I signed up one time for Facebook, and that's probably the only time I've been on it.
Right.
See his kid, but he was pretty insistent, you got to see my kid. And so I said, okay, I'll sign up for that. It's hard to point to one little thing, about why, a point where I deserve that, it's, but probably just the totality of it,
Right.
One time, one of the families gave me a star quilt. That really surprised me. Maybe I could point to that. That I'd never seen anyone get a star quilt from a family before. And so I was like, I was pretty humbled by that. Started crying a little bit. So
yeah,
I don't know.
But that's
a hard question. The other questions you might ask me are easier than that.
Right. Right. But again, you don't do this job for the awards, and you do it humbly, and you always have. Our house parents, our frontline staff, the folks that work directly with the kids, they're not doing this to get rich. They're not doing it for any other reason, hopefully, than to build relationships with kids and their families. And a star quilt from a family is a pretty nice recognition that you're doing something right by my kid. For the families that trust us and send the kids here, that's a big thing. And I see that with you, that you do care about the families, you do care about the kids genuinely. And that's the award is a nice reflection of that. And you don't do it, you didn't sign up in '98 to win an award, but it's a nice reflection of what that means.
I've had a lot of good partners that kept me out of trouble.
And that too.
I definitely wouldn't have ever got that award if it hadn't been for all the good partners I worked with, and
right.
And that goes for all the house parents at St. Joe's. We're finally on the podcast, get our recognition.
Yeah. And I'm glad
there's a lot of good people here, and I work in my community, 4th, 5th, and 6th grade community is a good community, and that's part of the job and the fun is all the different kind of people that come here and you get to know and work with, and so I gotta think, going back to my partners, I've always had good partners, and
right,
and
and
really helped me out.
And maybe it's worthwhile just in a real quick nutshell, just to explain, when you do your work in the home, you're working with how many kids, how many students?
12. We got 12 kids in a home, and there's 2 adults. We work for 6 days. So
that would be the partner you're talking about.
Yep. You're feeding them, and when the kids aren't there, you visit with your partner about the plans for the day and how things went and things you might do differently, and we can talk about the kids that might be having trouble, what you can be doing differently to help them out or have a breakthrough, or and you talking to them while the kids are there too. Your partners, you're laughing with them, you're joking with your partner, and the kids see that, and they want to join in on that fun. If you have a lot of laughter and jokes and fun and kidding and teasing even your partner, and it's so not only do you get the pleasure of knowing the kids and their families and getting to know that partner you work with, but there's a lot of couples at St. Joe's too. I'm single, but there's couples that come to work at St. Joe's, and people come to St. Joe's as a house parent to want to help kids, so you got that in common. And I've never had a partner I didn't get along with and couldn't joke with, and and you help each other out. So
good. Parents are our kids' first teachers, and you work in a partnership with the parents of the kids that we have, and that's one of the fun things about the job. Tell us what it's like for you to work alongside parents.
Work alongside, you learn so much from them, and they'll do things for you, like they'll bring in goldfish. We had a grandma that brought in some goldfish, and we got to take care of them. Sometimes we've had people bring in garden vegetables, so you got to be open to that kind of stuff. Working with parents is awesome. You get to learn a lot about different parenting styles, and that's one of the big parts for me. The job is learning from the parents and getting to know them, inviting them into the homes, and petting their dogs and stuff. Learning the pets' names. Like they'll come up and they'll drop off their kid, and they'll have a puppy in the truck with them. And now it's 2 years later, and it's a big dog, but he still wants to be petted. One of the stories I like to tell is I want to learn to make fry bread good, and because Indian tacos. So I had probably over a couple of years, 3 or 4 different moms and grandmas in the house trying to teach me to make fried bread. They're so good at it, though, they don't have a recipe, they'll just throw things together, and you're like, I kind of need a recipe, because everybody's a little bit different, but that kind of thing, even having them come in and helping you cook, and calling them up in the morning sometimes and asking them questions. If you have a question about culture or something, at the breakfast table, you can call them up and ask them, and families enjoy being included in things like that. On our home trip this weekend we just got off of, we invited a mom, and she brought her 4 kids, to eat with us, so just sitting down and breaking bread with them, and it's a lot of fun, and you learn a lot about the kids too. And the kids can see you have a good relationship with their grandma or their mom or their dad. Their names, the family names. That makes a big difference.
Absolutely.
And the vice versa too. You talk about your mom or your dad or your siblings, and they'll get to know them. Was that Cody, your brother Cody? No, that was my brother Luke. But they're interested in getting to know your families too. So I've learned a lot about culture and about native religion from families. It's a good part of the job is getting to know them, and good thing to do if you know a family. If you know a family's coming in and they used to have a sibling here or family member here, or that grandma used to go to school here, I love, you can ask them questions. What was it like in the old days? And you can get stories to pass on to the kids that are here now, so they always enjoy that. A lot of Chalk Hill stories from that. So,
that partnership is so important to what we do with kids.
That's a good word for
partnership. Absolutely. How is teaching social skills a vital part of the house parenting role?
It is a vital part. That I think the majority of that comes when they see you reacting to the kids. Like if a kid says something rude to you, the other kids are like, "What's Otis gonna do?" Or they think there might be an argument between the 2 house parents or trouble or something. Or sometimes they'll even try to set it up to test, and they'll be like, what's she gonna do, and then they see if you react to it well, like you're keeping your temper, or you can laugh it off or make a joke of it. That goes a long ways to building social skills. Real quick, like, someone didn't flush the toilet, Otis, and they want you to figure out who it is, and you're like, there's a lever on that toilet, you can flush it, and it's not really that big of a deal, I don't know, social skills happens all day long, and a lot of it is just modeling, and seeing how you react maybe, and it might be new to them if they see someone react in a positive way to that situation. They learn a lot. They learn a lot that way, and they teach us a lot too. You learn a lot about yourself and your own social skills, and if you have them or not.
For sure. And we do some very formal social skills programs that we do, but I agree with you that most of it is done just informally in a modeling way where we teach the kids, they watch what you do every day.
Once a week we have social skills, some kind of social skills lesson for about an hour. So,
So I know we're never supposed to have favorite students, right? You've been here for 20 years now, and you've come across a lot of kids, and if you're like me, they're all your favorites. Is the way it usually works for me. But do you have a favorite moment or a favorite story that you can share with us?
It's hard to choose my favorite story. One of the stories I like to tell people is in the mornings we check bedrooms, make sure they're picked up, so one of the kids will say, can you come check my room? So you go in there, and I thought I heard this kid ask me to come in, and the student asked me to come and check his room, and he was I think he was a 5th or 6th grader at the time, so he wasn't a small kid. And I went in there and I just could not find him. And several times that happened as I was walking down the hallway and checking rooms for the other kids, and I went downstairs and asked my partner, "Have you seen him?" And she hadn't seen him, and I went back up there. It turns out he's compressed himself into the bottom shelf of his desk. And I had to take a picture of it, but he was like a contortionist.
Holy cow.
I took that picture and I sent it to his mom, and it was just amazing to me so every time I see him or hear from him, we got to talk about that, So it's just little things like that, that really stick with you and kind of amaze you. So
and he was just having fun with you.
Yeah, he was just having fun with me.
And that stuff happens every day. That's the spice of it right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you came here 20 years ago, knew what the job was going to be like. Here you are at this point of your career. Why would you tell somebody to be a house parent?
Oh, it's the best job ever. I think you have this job because you want to help people and you're empathetic with people, and you'll learn a lot about yourself, and you get to work with a great team. And if you're a parent and your kids have grown up, I think that's great. I always thought if I had kids of my own and they're out of the house and you're feeling the empty nest, I was feeling the empty nest. St. Joe's is a great place to come, and because it's one big family, and the kids' family is a part of that too, as much as you make it. St. Joe's will, but as far as you can work to go out of your way to get to know those families, they're a part of it, and they like to be a part of it. And there's a lot of support here. We have the resources we need, thanks to the donors, to be there for those kids. And St. Joe's is a great place. I've had ideas in the past, and they're open to your ideas if you want to do something. I'd say it's a great job. And it's a consuming job too, because you develop all these relationships, and it's not like 8-hour day job. It's much more involved than that. And if you enjoy it, it's not even work. It's fun. Right. You can come in and share your talents, and if you like to fish, for instance, you can take the kids fishing. These guys and these girls are just, you can teach them whatever you're into, and they'll be into it too. If you're enthusiastic about something, that'll bleed over to the kids, And I don't know. It's just like there is no negatives that I know of,
right.
And I think I'm from South Dakota, so there's that. I didn't have to move or uproot my life, but I think if people did, it's a good community to move into, the community of Chamberlain too, very open. And maybe that's part. St. Joe's has been here so long, we've gotten people from outside the community has moved here. So Chamberlain's used to making people part of the community, I think, So I don't know if that answers your question.
It does. It answers it perfectly. And I love that pride that you feel about it, because that's what I have too, is that same for 28 years. I'm proud of what I do. So just Odis, thank you so much for what you do here at St. Joe's. You and the house parents are the backbone of this place, certainly. And the kids, their families, and we all appreciate what you do for those kids, and you do a great job. And it's great to see somebody take that much pride in what you do.
And I think the house parents, I think I can speak for house parents. It's a pleasure. It's like it's someone says thank you, like you just said. What you end up thinking is it's all my pleasure. It's been so.
Yeah, that's great. We thank Odis for joining us here at Hochoka at the center of the St. Joseph's Indian School campus, where we talk about issues central to Native American education today. Until the next time, stay centered.